Brianna's Bananas Cooking Show. Here we go! Hello everybody, it's Brianna. Today, I thought I would experiment a little more and make some little apple pies. I have this, I'm back in this Food Network's recipe book that I made from high school. I had this traditional apple pie recipe that I used to make all the time in high school, and I actually entered an apple pie competition. I used to live in Washington. A little backstory. There's a lot of apples in Washington, so they had a lot of apple pie competitions, so I thought I would enter one with this recipe. And of course I went up against about 3 older women who have been practicing their apple pie recipes for, I'm sure, a very long time. And I did not win any prizes. Aww. So, but we're gonna try again now, 15 years later. And I'm gonna not make a big apple pie like I made before. I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna make some little personal apple pies. Does that sound cool? Hopefully it turns out good and not all watery like it did before. Yeah, I remember. Anyways, let's get started on my dough. This is 6 servings worth. So I'm going to chop it into 1/3 of that to make it 2 servings. So you're going to need some all-purpose flour, some salt, some Crisco shortening, some ice water, and some sugar and cinnamon. That's just for your dough. For your filling, you're going to want a little more flour, your apples. This says you can use green apples, which are Granny Smith, golden apples, or Jonathan's. Those are the best for baking. You're going to want some white sugar, some brown sugar, some more cinnamon, and you're going to want a little bit of butter. So the amounts, I'm going to probably add it in later. I will show you the amounts that I'm using. So let me get started on my dough, and let me put my apron on and get ready. That was cool, wasn't it? Okay, let me do my dough. Okay. I'm going to do about 2/3 cup of flour. I just leveled it off with my finger. I'm going to do a tiny bit of salt. A couple cracks. A 1/4 cup of shortening. So I'm just going to cut the shortening into the flour with my fingers. Let me just add a little bit of water at a time. I feel like this is really wet. I'm just gonna hopefully not f up. A little bit more flour. So it's only a little bit of dough because I just want to make 2 little personal pies. So I'm going to flatten this out. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can literally use anything round like that. I do have a rolling pin, but it's just like super big and unnecessary right now, so I'm just gonna do this kind of by hand. So this 1/3 measuring cup is strangely like the same size as one of these cups. So I'm just gonna try to like use the cup to help me. Cut like an inch around it. That was not the prettiest. Okay, got the first one in there. Just formed it to the cup on the inside. Left some on the outside so I can put the top on and crimp it. Make a little pie. So I'm going to do the same with this other cup. Okay, I got my little tops ready. I got these two ready. Now I'm going to work on my filling. I'm going to cut up my apples. Also, just to let you know, I've been preheating the oven at 375. Okay. I'm going to slice these bad boys. So I'm cutting these into small little pieces so they can fit into the little pies. So this is 1 apple's worth, which is kind of a lot. I got 2 apples, but I don't know, maybe I'll just do both of them. I'll just do both of them. I'll come right back. Okay, I have my apples here, 2 apples. So I'm gonna do 1/3 of a cup each of brown sugar and white sugar. Cinnamon. I'm gonna mix this all around. Let me just do like 3 spoons of flour and see what that looks like. So it doesn't really explain where the butter comes in, so I'm just gonna like dab some on top once I put the mixture in here. Which, let me do that. Let me fill up these little pies. I'm all snug in there. So there is a lot extra here. I'm going to try to pile this a little bit. So what you can do with this extra is like put it in some pancakes later. If you're into making bread, I don't know, maybe put it in the bread. You can just like cook the apples like this and they'll be all like caramely and gooey. Put it on some ice cream. Maybe put a little bit of oatmeal with it too while you're cooking it. That'd be good. Okay. So let me take some butter. Just dab some on the top. Take my little tops. Oh my goodness. Squish it all in there. Okay. Let me just make sure these are like vented. Just make 4 little slits on top. Take a little bit more sugar. Careful with your cinnamon. I'm going to put some foil over it. Just kind of like dome over it. So it's like a nice tent of foil. And then we're gonna go in the oven. It says 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna check it after 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Wish them luck. Bye. Okay. Here's my little pies. I actually cooked them for about 28 minutes. I figured because they were so little, they would need less time, but they did not need less time. I pulled them out as soon as it started like going out of the top. So I'm gonna try to pull one out. Oh man. It mostly came out. Fell apart a little. That's alright. I got a fork. I'm gonna give this a little taste. It's not watery, at least. It's not watery. It's pretty good. This crust is like super duper flaky and delicate. So, not really sure what happened with the dough. I told you guys I'm really bad at baking. I tried. It tastes like an apple pie though. This is why I make apple crisp, because it's way easier. I mean, it's just really flaky and dry a little bit. It's good though. So I hope you try this yourself. If you're into making pies, I hope you're better at making the dough than I am. Try making little tiny pies. At any rate, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Leave me comments. Do all that fun YouTube stuff. And I will see you next week with another video. Okay, bye!